Almost everything I said in my first A23 video turned out to be true. You get no wired earphones in the box, but you do get the charger in the box, except it's a 15 watt charger, not 25 watts like I said. But it does support 25 watt fast charging, but you'd have to spend extra to get that. Since its release, there has been some talk about its design, among many things. Some people are saying it's ugly, some say it looks cheap, and some say it's actually quite nice. I got this blue color, and if I had to describe it, I'll say it's a very light blue, pretty close to off-white. It abandoned the A22 look and begged the A53 if he could copy his homework. So we have that new camera module with the slightly raised camera bump. The back is made of plastic, so I get why some people are saying it looks cheap. But let's not forget, this is a budget phone. My own complaints are a bit different. The bigger issue might be with how the back and frame are designed. Like I said, Samsung doesn't include a case in the box, so I have been using this caseless. And I noticed at the point where the back meets with the frame, it kind of retains dirt. Because of how it's designed, dust and dirt can get stuck there. So you'll have to keep cleaning or just buy a case. Samsung could have prevented this by just adding a cheap silicone case in the box. And of course, there are those bezels, which at first might throw you off, but just like the notch on the iPhone or the crease on the Fold, the more you use it, the less you notice it. And that's pretty much the story with the display. Yeah, I know, pretty good segue. That's another area where people were turning too. We had those who were like, I'm never going to buy this phone, I can't believe Samsung removed the AMOLED display. And then we had those that were like, I don't know, bruh, it looks pretty good, yeah. But don't get me wrong, AMOLED is better. I mean, deeper blacks, always on display, energy savings and all that. But when you actually use the A23, you don't really care. Just like the 10R's display, everyday people really will not care. I mean, there are some bad LCD displays, but this is nowhere near bad. I handed this phone over to a friend who actually dailied the S10 Plus, and his words were, I can't tell the difference. I mean, obviously he was exaggerating, but the point is the difference isn't that much. I wouldn't boycott the A23 because it's a bad display, because simply it's not. It does come with a 90Hz refresh rate, and you can either choose between 60Hz or an auto switch mode that goes from 60 to 90, so you can't have 90Hz turned on all the time. And I guess they did that to save battery. Did I really notice the difference between the two modes? Not really. Another feature we're glad is present is the Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. I've used this phone without a screen protector since day one. It's been in pockets, laid face down on tables, and there has been no scratch on it, so that's pretty cool. I haven't dropped it and don't plan on dropping it. And yeah, you shouldn't too, unless your name is Valor. My verdict on the display is that it's great for most people. You want a screen that is bright enough, even outdoors. You want a detailed display with good colors for Netflix and YouTube, and this does all of that. One edge the A23 has over other Android phones at this price is its software, or at least promised major OS updates. This comes out of the box with Android 12 and One UI 4.1 and is set to get 3 years of major software updates and 5 years of monthly security patches. I can't name any other smartphone with this much support at this price. Android 12 is cool, especially with the palettes, and I like how the keyboard lets you use swipe gestures and you can use the spacebar as a cursor control. But this doesn't have the clock style I like, and there is no native screen recorder, so some features are missing on the A23, so that sucks. Maybe it can be added with a future software update. One cool thing in the software, and it was actually my younger sister who noticed this, when you switch from the rear facing camera to the front facing camera, there is this cool animation that shows up. Subtle, but nice. What's not nice though is the downgrade in the cameras, the selfie and ultra wide to be precise. The selfie has been brought down to 8 megapixels from 13 on the A22, and then the ultra wide has been brought down to 5 megapixels from 8 megapixels. The selfie cameras aren't bad, and that's thanks to Samsung's image processing, but I do think that there are better selfie cameras at this price out there. The main 50 megapixel sensor though is really nice, also thanks to Samsung's image processing. I think they are probably the best you'll find at this price. The only one that comes close would be the Redmi Note 11 with the G-Cam. The ultra-wide is not as good. I mean, when you put it side by side with the main, you begin to notice how bad it is. But yeah, definitely tell me what you think. There's also night mode on here. It's not great, but I think it's okay for the price. Okay, so this is what the front-facing camera looks like. It shoots max at 1080p, 30 frames per second. I don't think it looks good at all. Okay, so this is the rear-facing camera. Shoots max at 1080p, 30 frames per second. It's definitely better than the selfie camera. They did say it has optical image stabilization. What do you think about it? Video is unimpressive. The front-facing camera is set to shoot at 1080p, but really it looks like 720p. The rear-facing camera as well is set to have optical image stabilization, but I did not notice that. And I thought it was just me, so I asked a couple other YouTubers who had this phone, and they said the same thing. I mean, one person did say he shook the phone real hard, and then the footage got better, but that didn't work for me. So Samsung, want to tell us what's going on? How powerful is this phone, you might ask? I'll tell you. It's decent. For everyday tasks, you wouldn't have any issues. It will be smooth, multitasking is also really good. I mean, it's the Snapdragon 680 chipset, a 6nm chipset, so it's pretty efficient. But it's the Adreno 610 GPU, which means it's okay for some gaming, but nothing spectacular. You can play Asphalt 9 as well as other heavy games, but at moderate settings. If you don't overwork it, it will be buttery smooth. It does have RAM+, which adds an extra 2 or 4 GB of virtual RAM, so that should help with multitasking and all. In terms of heat management, it fared pretty well, except on occasions where you're outside with full brightness and Wi-Fi, taking pictures and video, yeah, it will get hot. But on most days, it's fairly cool. It's an upgrade from the A22, definitely. Battery is great as well for my testing. I didn't daily the A22, so I don't know how much of an improvement it is, but I'll definitely give battery an A. A 5000 mAh battery that lasted a day and a half for me, most times. Of course, people's use cases are different, but for most people, you'll be satisfied with the battery on here. You might not like the fact that you have to buy an extra 25-watt charger to, get 25-watt fast charging, but it is what it is. At the top right of the phone, you get notified when an app uses your camera or microphone. The A23 also supports Smart View, so if you have a Samsung TV, you can easily share your screen. There are 2 mics on here, which is cool, but there's only 1 speaker, which is loud, but again, it's just 1. There's a fingerprint sensor, we also get face unlock, and its starting price is 119,000 Naira. In conclusion, if you have the A22, there is no need to upgrade. But if you're in the market for a phone under 120k, I still think this is one to consider because all round it's a pretty good phone and it has the best software support in its price point. So if you're looking for a phone to keep for a long period of time, this is probably it. I still do think that they could have gone lower in price, maybe 100k or 105, and I don't know why they did that, but only Samsung can answer that question. But yeah, that's my review of the Galaxy A23. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.
Nice in the center. Hold on. Okay.
Ready?